is the second generation of the Kia Seltos, which is available in Tech line, GT line and X line as well. This is not the top variant because the top variant's production hasn't started yet. That one will get front and rear dash cam, although that car was there at the launch of the vehicle. However, Kia says that that was the pre-production model, and obviously it will get level 2 ADAS with 28 features. This one has level 2 ADAS with 21 features only. New key, huh? Unlock the car, lock the car, and this actually blinks. So when you press it, you can see there is light on it, which is kind of cool. This car is available in 10 solid colors, 2 dual tone colors, 4 interior color options, which is kind of crazy SKUs. This is black, this is silver. Obviously silver is going to be more popular, so I thought let's shoot something which is different. They have some new colors as well. I think morning haze, which is sort of whitish, that is new here. So from the front, this is like the Telluride. From the rear, this is like the Clavis. I think somewhere around April, May, both these cars, the Telluride as well as the Clavis, they met at night, and the result is the new Seltos. Anyways, in terms of dimensions, it's bigger. Firstly, it's 10 mm shorter. Yes, the height has been reduced by 10 mm. Meanwhile, the length has been increased by 95 mm, and out of that 80 mm goes into the wheelbase. It's wider by 30 mm. It is actually the longest car in the segment. However, the Sierra is having a longer wheelbase, the Sierra is taller, the Sierra is wider as well. Now, this is the diesel, that is the petrol, and this being the GT line obviously looks quite cool as well. And you can see the black color is actually quite nice, but prone to getting a lot of dust. Yeah, there. I'm just going to move it ahead using my invisible remote control. Straight away, let's open the engine bay because there's a new feature, a segment first one, which happens to be gas struts. This is the feature which the OG Safari as well as the OG Scorpio, which is still on sale, the classic, still offer gas struts. Kia says that the reason for giving it gas struts is simple. The hood is so freaking heavy now because of better safety that they had to put this because people would not be able to lift it. Whatever. Same engine, no changes to the engine. There's insulation there which is not there in the Syros, so that's a good thing for sure. And the design is actually quite nice. They've completely changed the design, you know. This is the digital tiger nose grille which has these vertical elements. There's a camera here. The massive Kia logo, which actually is the new logo, which obviously came some time back, but the older logo is something I really like. This is actually the panel for radar. It has got 6 parking sensors, that's right, side parking sensors as well. Look at the DRL. It is on the corner, on the edges, where the indicator also functions, and you get LED fog lamps as well, which is a nice touch, and the fog lamp is positioned lower down. So they haven't got, they didn't get rid of the fog lamps like Hyundai has done with the Creta. Fog lamps are important. This is the low beam, this is the high beam. Actually the design is quite nice. I definitely like it. This is the provision for the towing hook. Look at the design elements, a lot of them, quite interesting. The tire size on this car happens to be a 215/55/18. I absolutely hate the design of the alloy wheels. What is this design? Is this an alloy or what? Like, why is this square here? It could be a better design for alloy wheels for sure. Neon colored brake calipers, which they are like the first in the segment. Gloss finish here, which runs throughout the car, which is obviously prone to a lot of scratches. I don't know why all car brands are doing it these days. And in terms of the side design, well, it seems like the older Seltos in certain ways, like how this thing has been done. And this car has a very revolutionary first in segment feature, which is a proximity sensor. If you have the key in your pocket, you approach the car, it will automatically unlock. No need to press any button, no need to press a button on the key either. However, they call it first in the segment. The Elevate has a similar feature wherein it will automatically unlock. But for that, first you have to put your hands in your pants pockets to remove the key. Put your hand inside and then it will unlock. You don't have to press any buttons. Here it will sense and do it automatically. The Kiger has this feature since donkey's years. So does the Triber and Citroen also. French people love that feature. There's obviously a camera there for lane keep assist. However, with ADAS also, they actually have dash cam, which is kind of crazy. A camera here, gloss finishing right there. These door handles pop in and out automatically, which is amazing because this is having XUV 700 type door handles, which kind of look nice, obviously, because they help in aero bits. Look how they have given it this treatment to make it look like a floating roof. And what is this treatment here and here? So yeah, a lot of effort has gone into the design. Notice 6 parking sensors at the rear as well, and the indicator is a bit small. I don't know why car brands are making small indicators. You can't really see this properly. It's so chintu mintu. And this Ulta L shape, which is a light bar which is completely connected. The camera is beautifully put inside. Kia GT line Seltos. This is the reverse light. That is the reflector, and the exhaust has been placed right there. You can see the underbody, that is the fuel tank. And straight away, let me tell you that they forgot to put a rear wiper washer only. I'm just kidding. Copying from Range Rover, wherein the rear wiper washer is actually hidden. You get a rear spoiler, a high mounted stop lamp, a shark fin antenna, roof rails which don't seem to be functional, and the boot is bigger in size because this boot happens to be a crazy 447 liters. I call it crazy because the Sierra has a 440 liter boot. When you factor in the parcel shelf, Tata tried to misguide people by telling them that it's 620 liters or something of that sort without the parcel shelf. Without the parcel shelf, this car's boot will also be bigger. Now here is some storage. There's a light, there's a hook, and there's another hook there. There's the speaker, I think subwoofer, and the spare wheel is not an alloy. In fact, it's smaller size at 215/60/17. This is a warning triangle, and the toolkit has been placed nicely and neatly as well. So yeah, I like the boot, but no power tailgate. Why? I simply don't understand. In terms of length, this, like I was telling you, is the longest car in the segment at almost 4.5 meters, 4460 mm to be precise. Meanwhile, the wheelbase happens to be almost 2.7 meters, which is exactly 2690 mm. So in terms of dimensions, they have made it bigger and bigger here. You have to open it from inside, then only it works. And the rear seat actually is quite impressive. For starters, you get rear sunblind, which is an important feature in this sunny day and age. Door pockets are also big enough. Speaker placement here. One touch up and down power windows, but I think I have just done a child lock here. Nice treatment, but obviously lot of hard plastics almost everywhere. The seats, they actually fold in 60/40 format, and see, this is upright, then you can recline it a bit as well for added comfort. The seat base is not long enough, which means under thigh support is not the best. Footroom seems to be good. Knee room and legroom is also good. Headroom seems to be adequate. Height adjustable seat belts. This car's got 6 airbags, not 7. We need a knee airbag as well. And obviously beautifully damped light placement here on the top. The rear seat is very comfortable. Center passenger also gets a headrest. You get a center armrest with twin cup holders. Says GT line here, and the window area is big enough, and obviously the panoramic glass roof gets in a lot of light on the inside. There you can see the dashboard is amazing because it's completely changed. USB-C charging socket here. Here's some storage space, and you get rear AC vents as well. This is almost flat here. Magazine pockets on both the sides, but it should have had boss mode. It should have had sliding seats, and the seat should have reclined a bit more. Some of those features are available with the Ceros. Okay, the Ceros doesn't get boss mode, but at least it gets sliding seats and a much better recline as well. Straight away, let me show you this dustbin. I think this comes with the car. Hyundai used to call it the Swatch can. I don't know what Kia calls it, but yes, having a dustbin is always a nice option. Bro, the dustbin already broke. What are you going to do? Kya dustbin banegi tu? Just did not work only. Now this car comes with 24 standard safety features. So 6 airbags are standard across all variants and all those things. And neon colored brake calipers, they look okay, but they are like nobody uses that color. I think it's kind of mamba green. Take that, Skoda Octavia RS. Anyways, the seat is very advanced because it's 10-way adjustable, including adjustable for the lumbar too. And the best bit is that it has got memory function. So I press a button there and the seat moves. And that memory is not only for the seat, it's also there for the outside rear view mirrors. There's also relaxation mode, so you can just go and chill. 2 memory settings. The seat ventilation button is in the right place, not here like in the Sierra, which is out of sight, and not in the touchscreen. Door pockets are big enough at the front. Here you can see child lock is activated. Illumination on all the power window switches, even on the other doors. And one touch up and down power windows. All of them are one touch, but not on this particular variant. That happens to be a feature in the higher variant, the optional one. This is the GTX-A, that GTX-O has it, and then obviously it has to have anti-pinch as well. Only the driver is having it here. So in terms of buttons, there are quite a lot of physical ones. This is actually for the traction control, downhill assist, electric parking brake, and headlight leveler. The fuse box always placed here in Hyundai Kia cars in line of sight, and then lot of hard plastics almost everywhere. Yeah, this is a bit soft, but everything else seems to be very, very hard here. Now, with every new car, obviously car brands are like, let's remove some features. Other than Faisal car, nobody will even notice because there was logo projection from the outside rear view mirrors. Removed, gone, khatam, khalas, finish. Meanwhile, the Ceros actually has it. Kia has also got rid of the air purifier because apparently stock for air purifier is running very low because supply constraints are happening and everybody wants an air purifier. A lot of car brands are also doing it. However, going forward, Hyundai Kia are not going to have an air purifier in the car. They're going to have a HEPA filter in the air conditioning system as well, just to clean. So that's kind of the next step. And sound mode lamp was there earlier. That has been removed as well. I love the way the blind view monitor is done in Hyundai Kia cars. Meanwhile, the X line also gets a head-up display, which is more advanced. It's not that cheap one which Maruti also uses, which pops up from below. By the way, Mini also uses something similar. Instead, it actually reflects on the screen. Auto-dimming mirror with buttons for SOS, a truck, and Kia Connect. Okay, it has got OTA updates as well. Meanwhile, you get a mirror here. You don't get a mirror here, that's kind of weird, but you get a strap here. Meanwhile, the roof line could be better in terms of design, I feel. I mean, the texture and all could be better, although it is solid, doesn't vibrate here or something of that sort. Headrests are very unique. These have this mesh treatment on it. Kind of nice, yeah, and very comfortable as well. This does not slide ahead and behind. There's a 12-volt charging socket here. Meanwhile, storage space here with a nice slider here, and you get physical buttons for auto hold, parking sensors, and for the 360-degree parking camera. Here you get a wireless charging pad. You get 3 USB-C charging sockets as well. The glove box is decent sized and doesn't seem to get the cooling function. Lot of hard plastics. This is a little soft, but everything else seems to be super hard here. There's a sunglass holder here, and obviously there is a light on the top, 2 of them. Let's open the sunroof, which is massive. Well, that is what she said. Yeah, brings in a lot of airy feeling inside the cabin. And unlike the Sierra, which by the way has one of the biggest sunroofs, this one starts in the right place. So as a driver, I can also see it. Otherwise, in the Sierra, only the rear seat occupants can enjoy it. But I'm unhappy with the fact that there's only one switch to operate the sunroof and the sunblind. I don't want to open the sunroof, I just want to open the sunblind. It's just so damn confusing. Why can't you have another switch for the same? Just doesn't make sense at all. So yes, connected car features are there and all those things. Steering is adjustable both for reach as well as rake, and you've got a lot of buttons on the steering wheel. So this is for the audio system, this is for cruise control and to browse through this particular screen. 12.3 inch screen here. This happens to be a 5 inch screen. This is also a 12.3 inch screen. So it has got the panoramic Trinity display, 30 inch in size. Meanwhile, the Sierra also gets 3 screens, but the third one is here. So Hyundai Kia actually did this before because the Seltos obviously came before. So the same screen as the Seltos. And in terms of physical buttons, there are plenty of them. The problem now with the center screen, this one, the air conditioning screen, is that as a driver, this thing blocks my view. So I have to turn around to actually use the air conditioning, which is not the best thing. And the steering actually has drive and traction modes. So there are 3 drive modes. There's eco, normal and sport, and there are 3 traction modes as well: snow, mud and sand. Let me turn off the air conditioning, which is a weird operation at the moment. If I keep this traction button pressed, guess what happens? It engages downhill brake control, which also works from here. So why have they given it in 2 places? I have absolutely no clue why they have done it. I love the fact there are a lot of physical buttons here. Screen is super slick, amazing to use, just phenomenal. Notice A-pillar has tweeters, so it has got an 8-speaker Bose sound system, which has amazing audio quality. The horn is nice. It gets twin aero wiper blades, which are fantastic as well. Coming to this screen, the main screen, the instrument cluster, easy to use. Obviously, you see the blind view monitor right here, and when you want to browse through it, there's a lot of information. Firstly, this is the ADAS menu, and here you can just browse through trip meters, the UER level, tire pressure monitor, and the speedometer. And then obviously you can also opt for a cube type treatment here, which is not to my liking, honestly, because I just like the one which is there currently. So look at this, and then you can change the styles as well. So there are multiple colors for the same here. I actually use this to browse through this. Now this screen is slick to use and has a lot of information. Firstly, the 360-degree parking camera is nice, doesn't show an accurate view of the car because where is the sunroof here? Can't see that here. Front camera, rear camera and multiple camera views. So camera quality is actually decent here. Let's come into reverse. So there you have got adaptive guidelines as well. Parking sensors, they activate on this side, right side, so front side and rear parking sensors. That's kind of amazing as well. And there's a carrier mode wherein it disables the parking sensors so that you can carry a cycle at the like mounted to the boot. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, finally wireless in this car. You have a calendar here, you have got a ton of things like this. Sport, like it gives you sport data, it gives you data about the weather. There's a valet mode as well. Yeah, so that people don't misuse your car when you give it to a valet. Coming to the settings, there are a lot, but they're easy to browse, like I'm showing you this layout one, which you can also do from cluster. So there's the welcome sound and all. In fact, this particular seat, it automatically moves ahead and behind when you turn on and off the vehicle. So I'm just going to do that. Here I turn off the car, I open the door. Yeah, okay, it's just giving me this animation and saying do not leave children or pets alone. I shall not do that. Which actually brings me to another very important feature of this car, is that when you get into reverse, the mirrors auto dip, and after auto dipping, when you come out of reverse, it goes to your default position, not a random position like in the Tata Safari and the Harrier petrol, which have the new Fearless Ultra variant, which also gets this feature. Obviously you get paddle shifters, you get automatic headlights, you get automatic wipers. No, it doesn't say auto here, and there is no rain sensor also, so I think there is no automatic wiper in this car. And this screen has a lot of stuff to browse through. So let's come into vehicle, because here in seats, the function I was showing you, seat position change alert, where was this? Easy access. I made it extended. Movement distance of the seat when the driver enters or exits the vehicle. Then you can change how you want the flash, welcome lights, high beam assist, headlamp timeout, all those things. Driver assistance systems, lot of them in this car naturally, because this is having level 2 ADAS. The menu which I'm looking for right now happens to be for the ambient lighting, which should be in vehicle lights, and this is the ambient lighting menu, which is currently linked to the drive mode. So colors I can change, there are multiple colors, but in the Ceros now there are 2 of them here, so I can change it for the top and bottom. Here I can only change it for one side. 64 colors, which is good. You can link it to the drive mode, but there is no sound mode lamp which is to like flash on you, and it all depended on the music beat. That has been removed as well. So Kia has gone ahead and removed certain features from this car, which doesn't make logical sense to me, because why would you remove something that cool, right? I don't understand, but yeah, they have done what they have done, and like it's always the case, like car brands, they keep removing features. Meanwhile, it has Sounds of Nature, which is something I still don't understand. What's the point of that? What would I do with Sounds of Nature? I can play it from YouTube either if I want, right? And coming to the settings menu again, coming to general. Okay, this is the system information and all. There's so much in an infotainment system these days, it can get really very confusing. Thankfully, you can even configure what you want this button to do. So yeah, that can be your favorite button, and you can decide what you want it to do. There's a quiet mode in this car as well. It's such a nice screen. Yeah, car brands should make such screens. Very well done, extremely smooth, very responsive as well, and just works phenomenally well. That is how a screen should be. Anyways, I have yapped way too much. Let's start driving right away. Alright, let's start by driving the diesel first, and it tells me a summary of my drive, 0 kilometers per liter, because we didn't honestly move anywhere. Oh, there it turns on, and Sounds of Nature turn on, and then it starts with the clatter because the diesel engine is obviously a diesel engine. Let's turn off the air conditioning. Let's come into sport drive mode. Let's turn off the traction control, keeping this button pressed, and it completely turns it off. First it limits it and then it turns it off. Coming to drive, we turn on the parking camera, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. This is actually the front parking camera. We're going to come to the rear parking camera. Revving the motor, doesn't rev. Around 1800 RPM and off we go. Upshifting at around 4500 RPM. Yeah, the engine is not very impressive because performance isn't great, and that's because of how much power and torque it produces. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour takes 14 seconds, which is definitely on the slower side. Yeah, it's not very fast as such, but then that is quite expected considering how much power and torque this car produces. And now it's the time for the brake test at 100 kilometers per hour. That dustbin was flying behind. Brakes are actually very impressive, and off we go. Yeah, there is a bit of turbo lag which you can feel, and then they have debuted the K3 platform in India finally, which is actually having better ride comfort, overall comfort, and better NVH levels as well. And the reason for this new platform is better safety rating, because now obviously they want to compete with other brands who are just singing the safety song. So Kia's like, why should we stay behind? Because anyways, their cars globally get 5-star rating from Euro NCAP and from IIHS also, Insurance Institute of Highway Safety, as well as the, forget all the US agencies. but you get the drift. Anyways, how did the camera turn off? So we're going to turn on the camera again. The best thing is that it gives you a rear feed, it also gives you a front feed, but in the Cirrus it also gives you a top feed, which is missing in this car. So compared to the Cirrus, certain things are actually missing here. Now let's quickly go through the powertrains, which have remained unchanged here. So this 1.5 litre diesel engine, 4-cylinder unit, obviously it produces 116 horsepower and a torque output of 250 Newton meters. The result is that it's not very fast to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, because 115 PS is nothing, honestly. I'm sure it can do a bit faster as well, maybe around 13 seconds. But yeah, this is a slow car. In manual, it will be faster. It's not letting me launch it. This is a 6-speed automatic gearbox. It's a torque converter unit. I can use the pedals to make gear changes if I want. Meanwhile, this thing, the manual will definitely be better. So all the cars get a 6-speed manual gearbox option, but not the turbo. The turbo still gets an IMT. Why? I have no idea. Yeah, we need a turbo manual, proper manual. I'll talk more about that when driving the turbo, but let's focus on the diesel engine. It's refined, it's smooth, it gets vocal in the higher end of the rev range. Performance is decent. It's not very sprightly as such, but gets the job done. In terms of efficiency, obviously diesel is fantastic. That's the reason I say diesel is a diesel. This is an efficient engine. It will return somewhere around 17 to 18 kilometers per liter out on the highway. In the city, around 12 to 14 kilometers per liter. And again, if you opt for the automatic, mileage will be less. Manual obviously will give you better mileage. These paddle shifters are of no use or what? They don't really help you. What are they doing? I downshift and let's see, does it let me hold on to again? No, it does not. It's upshifting around 4,300 RPM, which is kind of premature here. Yeah, I expected a higher headline. By the way, this car has a 47 litre fuel tank. So does the 1.5 litre NA petrol engine has the same 47 litre fuel tank. But the turbo petrol is actually having a 50 litre fuel tank, because a turbo petrol obviously drinks a lot more fuel. To put it into perspective, the turbo petrol is the one to opt for, obviously, because of the better performance. But if you want efficiency, this is the car you would pick. Now, there are multiple drive modes. When I come into eco, I can feel performance dulls down a bit in normal mode, which most of the people are going to drive in. The performance is actually quite acceptable, but honestly, you need to put this car in sport mode, because the performance is actually quite lackluster. Otherwise, just doesn't have the grunt only. This engine on full throttle, it's not nice. On part throttle, it obviously feels much better to drive, because that's how it is. A good mid-range. Low end is okay, not great. Top end is completely lacking. Mid-range is where this car excels. In terms of the steering feel, the diesel somehow has better steering feel. Doesn't have much slack in the center position when compared to the petrol one. They've obviously stiffened things up because of the heavier weight of the diesel engine. So in terms of the handling, the diesel definitely handles better. I like the handling of the diesel. I think it's amazing. The car is obviously on the stiffer side, so you kind of feel the bumps at lower speed, especially big fat bumps. But as you speed up, the ride beautifully smoothens out. And then this car has really nice high speed stability, which is expected, because this is how most European or cars which are targeted towards developed countries have. Now let's make a quick U-turn. Steering is actually having heft, so it's good in terms of weighing up, but not the best in terms of, okay, it centers quite fast, not the best in terms of feel. So it's not very feelsome steering wheel. But then, yeah, I'm asking for too much from a Kia Seltos. At the end of the day, Hyundai Kia focus on ease of driving rather than driving feel. So there is body roll. Naturally, there will be, even though they've reduced the ride height. I mean, the overall height has been reduced by 10 mm. I don't think that makes much of a difference. Minute chinto decrease in the height of the car is not going to make a drastic difference in terms of the drive experience. But the drive experience, like always, has been fantastic with the Kia Seltos. Easy car to drive, smooth, refined, comfortable as well. And this new platform hopefully should get really good safety ratings, which will make this car sell in great numbers, because now we Indians have become very safety conscious, and that's something which obviously Tata, Mahindra, Volkswagen, Skoda have put their attention to. Safety is of paramount importance. I'm sure this car will also do well in terms of safety. The suspension isn't noisy as such, so I think they've done a great job in terms of all these parameters. Only thing is on big bumps, like see this bump, you can feel it, and this big bump, I mean, it's decent. It's not something to complain about. Let's do the 0 to 100 km per hour acceleration test again. Before I start, I'm just going to change these dials, because so that you can see a different type of a dial. Just press the home button here, and we come into settings. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor. It revs till what, 1700 RPM, and off we go. Upshifting at 4100 RPM. That's quite early. So the NA petrol engine, which sells the most, doesn't produce dramatically impressive performance. 13.68 seconds, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. So this is like 13.5 seconds. That's the best I think it can extract. So the NA petrol engine, which sells the most, it happens to have just, okay, let's first corner it. Obviously front end washes out, lot of understeer. Any petrol engine makes the same 115, 116 horsepower and 144 Newton meters of torque. Has a CVT gearbox option as well as a 6-speed manual. Manual would obviously be better because obviously it will be more efficient and not have the rubber band effect. Meanwhile, easy to twirl the steering. Come on, respond. Even with traction control off now, it just doesn't move as such. And that's a bit of a problem here in terms of the way this car drives. Let's push it around the corners. Just the front end keeps washing out, and that's a bit of a problem here. This car doesn't feel exciting enough. The diesel simply doesn't. Let's quickly jump into the petrol, which feels so much more powerful. Even though I'm driving in eco mode right now, that's unbelievable. You all of a sudden feel like something has happened. This car is so freaking powerful when compared to the diesel, but the steering is on the lighter side somehow, and the suspension isn't as stiff, so it doesn't really handle as impressively well. Anyways, onto the throttle. No wheel spin as such. So what you're going to do is we're going to come into sport drive mode. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor. I don't think we're going to reach 100 kilometers per hour by the end of that road, but still there's no harm in trying. Actually, this is the turbo petrol, so maybe we could also manage to reach 100 kilometers per hour by the end of that road. I need to hit 103 and onto the brakes. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 10.6 seconds. Brakes are also quite nice, but obviously I expected better brakes because the ABS seems a bit too sensitive somehow. Yeah, it just intervenes a bit more than I expect, and off we go. So in terms of handling, I find the diesel to be a better handler because around the corners, the same issue of the tires screeching. It's not able to put that power down. There's a lot of performance here. 1.5 liter turbo petrol engine, 160 PS of power. Front end keeps getting washed out. Yeah, 160 PS of power and 253 Newton meters of torque. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 10.6 seconds, which is quick. The manual, which is not there unfortunately, will definitely do it faster because I expect the manual to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 10 seconds. But there is no manual here. No. Instead, we get the IMT. A gearbox I simply don't understand only. Yeah, there's no logic behind the IMT. Just give us a regular 6-speed manual gearbox. This is a 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox. The DCT is fast with shifts, with paddle shifters, but at low speeds it has a jerky feel. In terms of performance, the Sierra is actually better. That's kind of funny. It's faster somehow, almost by a second. And the Sierra is I don't understand how the hell the Sierra is actually faster. But the Sierra is having similar output numbers and is heavier as well. So I think there's still scope. This gearbox, all those fast switch shifts, it doesn't let you launch. So that initial lag is something which kills 1 second of time in terms of acceleration. Turbo lag is there. It's sort of well contained. Power delivery is linear. Mid-range punch is nice. Top end is also good. Engine is really nice. It's smooth. It's refined. It's punchy. And it really pushes. All of a sudden I feel I'm flying. That's how good the performance is unbelievably better in almost every way. Let's do the Viper test. Good wipers, the Aeroblade wipers, and obviously a lot of spray also coming out from here. So performance is something which you will really appreciate about the Seltos Turbo Petrol because it has the grunt, it feels punchy, it feels fast, but it also drinks fuel. And that's the reason it has a 3 liter bigger fuel tank capacity. So in terms of drinking fuel, well, this has quite the habit. This will return you around 6 to 7 kilometers per liter if you drive like how I am driving right now. Meanwhile, extending that fuel efficiency to almost double-digit numbers in the city if you drive it very steadily. But trust me, single-digit numbers is what you would expect in the city. Out on the highway, it can stretch a bit. Turbo petrol engines, the more you rev in, the more they will reward you by sucking money out of your wallet. They'll give you performance, but at the cost of efficiency because turbo works that way, right? However, unfortunately, Kia has not offered us a hybrid still. There was a great opportunity to introduce a hybrid. I think hybrid will come with a 1.5 NA engine, but it will come later. I should just come into the normal drive mode because this guy is not giving me space. Bye, Innova. See you later, brother. Yeah, making quick overtakes on the highway, absolutely seamless because the level of performance, unbelievable. Top speed, it should touch 200 kilometers per hour. Again, not as fast as the Tata Sierra, which does 225 kilometers per hour. The thing here is that this engine is extremely proven So no issues on the front of reliability and all those things, because it's been on sale since quite some time now, so there's no problem as such. The only thing is that now the competition has caught up. Hyundai, Kia were like, we only have the best engine. Now Tata has made a phenomenal engine in the Sierra, but honestly, the level of smoothness, refinement, gearbox speed and all those factors in this particular car are just next level, right? You drive the turbo petrol and you're like, wow, this is absolutely stunning. Now Kia hasn't announced the prices yet. I expect the prices to start at rupees 13 lakhs for the lowest variant, going all the way to rupees 25 lakhs on road Mumbai for the top end variant. This is not the top end, so this should come maybe around 24ish or something of that sort, because certain features are missing here. But that's not a big thing, because honestly most people end up buying the mid variant, and mid variant obviously has a ton of features as well. Let's make a quick U-turn here. Listen to this, okay? Little bit of sound coming from the wheels, because yeah, there's a lot of torque, but only thing is, if it was a manual now, I would have wheel spin to glory. Which unfortunately I can't do here, because a manual lets you launch, a DCT simply does not. There are paddle shifters, it does not hold on to a gear. It's responsive actually, look at this, but it upshifts around 6000 RPM. It does not hold on to a gear. There is body roll and you can feel that around the corners, but the ride is good. The diesel feels stiffer, this one feels slightly more compliant. So in terms of ride, yes, good. Handling, I think the diesel handles better, this petrol rides better, and the performance here is a world apart when compared to the diesel. Even though I keep singing a diesel is a diesel is a diesel song all the time, I feel the kind of performance the turbo petrol offers, it's a no-brainer. If you are an enthusiast, get this. And then people are also tuning it now, producing 200 horsepower. I have driven a Seltos earlier which had 200 horsepower but wasn't tuned the best, so obviously there were certain glitches. But if you do it right, this can be your new pocket rocket, although 25 lakh rupees is not pocket rocket anymore. I mean, it was never, but I'm just saying rupees 25 lakhs is a lot of money for this car, because at the end of the day, this is a front wheel drive. And at this price, you were like, okay, if I want a real SUV, well, there are plenty of options in the market, but then you want the convenience also, you want the smoothness also, you want efficiency also. In that regard, I think the Seltos is absolutely unmatched. Phenomenal car. I don't think they even needed to give it an update, but they're like, no, we shall do it any which ways. And that is because the global premiere was happening, and Kia India is like, if it's being launched globally, we should launch it in India as well at the same time. Kudos to them. I really appreciate that. Okay, we're just going to come to a halt here. Hazard lights on, and let's launch it once again. Alright, let's come into sport drive mode. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. I come into manual, hazard lights off, traction control is off. Revving the motor does not rev. This is the biggest issue. It simply does not rev, and there, 1 second gone. It eats 1 second when it comes to outright acceleration and launch, and that's the problem here. It simply does not let you launch only. Yeah, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 10.7 seconds. So that's kind of consistent even in manual mode right now. Bikers drive in the middle of the road. What do I say? Yeah, it does not give you manual control of things, even though when I put it into the Triptronic function here, just doesn't help. Paddle shifters kind of useless, although they really help in downshifts and give you quick downshifts. Easily the engine of choice in the segment, but come on Kia, it's high time you bring the hybrid to India. I know the government doesn't give concessions, but lead on that front, because everyone else is going electric, which makes no sense. Nobody wants an electric, although I know you're coming with the Seltos EV as well, which also doesn't make sense to me at all, considering the Seltos itself doesn't sell, which is a fantastic car in its own right. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, that's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. Kia has done a master stroke here. A good car, very well loaded in terms of features, good amount of space. They've actually made it bigger as well. And obviously quality, reliability, good engines, good performance. Yes, the diesel deserves more power, but now they've made the benchmark in the segment that 115 horsepower is the only thing which can happen, and that's the reason Tata is copying them there as well, which is kind of unfortunate. We need powerful diesel engines, which by the way, the Sierra does not need AdBlue. This car's diesel engine needs it. So yeah, that's something which can be worked on by Hyundai Kia as well, because a lot of complaints in terms of the AdBlue issues too. And on that disappointment, it's time to end. Bye-bye. I don't like the steering as much as the old steering. Am I becoming old, or am I just old school? I don't know. What am I? Who am I? What am I? Bye.